All right, cool. So let's go ahead and check your work. Okay. Remember, you're just checking it. I'm not deducting points. So the first one, let me zoom in. Okay. So the first one is what? 6x plus negative 7x minus 4 minus a minus. So if you remember, this is a quick strategy that you can always do. You see the parentheses? See negative 7x? Well, it's being multiplied by something, but there's a plus 1, right? So this is kind of like a multiplication, but you normally leave it alone. But just for some individuals that don't get it, just put a 1 if there's no number to it. All right, so positive times negative is a negative, right? So if you want to use the MD man, this is the face only for multiplication division. You just cover the positive and negative. So that gives you a negative, right? The same thing that's in the parentheses. And then 1 times 7x is 7x, all right? But what happens to the 6x? I just drop it down, okay? Mister, what happens to the minus 4? Well, there's no parentheses, so I just drop it down. Okay. Now the next one has a parenthesis. Okay. So what does that mean? That I'm going to put a 1 right here. And then you multiply. Negative times a negative is a positive, and 1 times 9 is 9. See that? Some of you guys might have just put you notice it's negative and and it put a plus, right? So this is your work. Now, what do? You combine like terms. Okay. You see some numbers with an X? The 9 doesn't have an X, so you can't put them together. You only could combine the X's with the X's. So if you're correcting your work and you got 6X, put a check. That means you got that right. You got that right. You got that right. You got that right. All right. Now, if you for some reason did this 6X minus 7X and you multiplied negative times a negative, and you got positive 36, and you got that, put a circle around it, and say, and then what did you do wrong? What did you do wrong? Say, didn't have to multiply, or didn't need to multiply. All right, what did you do wrong? Right there, you didn't need to multiply that because there's a minus. See that? So for the most part, this is what I was teaching Math 1C last trimester, but you probably already know how to do this. The 6x and the minus 7x, okay? So what I do is I do the t-chart, okay? Because it's either going to be positive or negative. The negative 7x goes in the negative column. It's like a baseball game. And the positive 6x goes in the positive. Now, who won? Who has more? The negative, because they have 7. So my answer is negative. But by how many did they win? Well, you're going to subtract, right? So then I'm going to have negative 1x. And there's your answer. So if you got that correctly, put a little check. You're like, I got it right. Okay. And then the next one, these are called constants. Negative 4 plus 9. I'm going to do the t-chart again. All right, because you're combining like terms. The negative 4 goes in the negative, and the positive goes in the positive. So if I were to ask, like, what's my answer? Who won? What would you say? Right? Justin, what would be my answer? What's negative 4 plus 9? Well, Justin, are you there? No? Okay.
Which one?
Oh, shoot. There's two? Oh, man. Justin, the smartest one. I don't know. Nah, everybody. You're just kidding. The Justin Calleros.
Oh, wait, what was the answer again? I mean, the question?
Negative 4 plus 9.
5?
Yeah. See it, and if you do my T chart, my you're gonna circle the positive or negative. whichever's greater, and the positive wins, but by how many? By 5, because you subtracted. See that? And there's your answer. So if you got plus 9, put a little check. Bam. All right. So far, so good? All right. Now, again, if you're correcting it, fill it in. All right. The next one, you have a parentheses, but that means multiplication. But what are you multiplying it by? What's the number next to it? There's nothing, so it's not 0, because 0 times something will be 0. So it's always an imaginary 1. So remember, 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times, so it's always going to be the same. See, this is distributive. So 1 times 3y is still the same. 1 times negative 6x is still the same. 1 times 7 is still the same. You see that? Oh, plus 7. Now, on the next expression that has a parentheses, well, parentheses means multiplied, so I'm going to put a 1 right here. Oh, yeah, mister, you said it's the same. So 1 times this, that's your distributive property, right? So negative 5y stays the same. Positive 7x stays the same. Negative 9 stays the same. You see that? Because you're multiplying by a positive 1. Now, what do? You combine like terms, right? So here, if I have a 3y, for those that didn't or forgot, where's the other one with the y? Let's see, Enrique, where's the other one with the y? Which one is it?
Negative 5?
Yeah, negative 5y. So then you're going to combine them, like terms, a t-chart. So I'm going to do a little t-chart because I forget the rules. So you got 3y, negative 5y. So who has more? Let's see, Melissa. Who has more, the positive or the negative?
Negative.
Right. The negative, so I'm going to have a negative answer. But by how many?
2.
Very good. Nice. So the y's are gone. Now I'm going to do the x. So let's see, Sarah. If I circle negative 6x, where's the other one with the x?
Sarah or Sierra?
Oh, shoot. Whoever just replied.
7x?
Yeah, because they have x's. So now I'm going to do the t-chart. Combine like terms, a t. So now I'm going to put the negative 6 right here, x, and the positive 7x. Now who won, the positive or the negative?
The positive?
Yeah, by how many?
1.
Yeah, by 1x. There you go. Boom, you're done. See? So I take those out, and now plus 7 minus 9, do that again. A little t-chart. Plus 7 minus 9. Now who won on that one? Let's see. Anybody? Positive, negative. By how many?
By 2.
By 2. Not 9, because the other team scored 7. So by 2. So there's your 3 answers. All right. So if you got it, put a little check. And so remember, when you take a little quiz, I'm looking at this. Okay. Because you could get this right, but then you could get that one wrong. I'll still give you credit. You're like, oh, you added, you forgot, you were supposed to subtract, right? So you see the t-chart's a little easy, when you combine like terms. All right, so then the next one, bam, let's do this one. So remember, there's a parentheses, right? And well, what are you multiplying by? 1. Oh, yeah, mister, you said that it's going to stay the same. So let's just write it over. It stays the same. Boom. Right? But then you have a negative. Oh. All right. So then you multiply all 3 terms by the negative 1, right? So here we go. Let's multiply. Be careful with this. So here we go. Hold on. Hold on. Because this other screen. All right. Hold on. Okay, sorry, because I was. All right, so Nathan, here we go. So when I multiply the negative times the negative, what is that? You could always use this MD man.
A positive.
And then 1 times 5y is 5y. It stays the same. Everything stays the same because you're multiplying by 1. But remember, when you multiply by a negative, it just changes the sign. You see, this was a negative 5y. Now it's a positive 5y. See that? So let's see. Let's see. Jimmy, what would be the next one? What would be the next one right here? Negative 1 times 7x.
That would be negative 7x.
Yeah, it's the same thing, but you're multiplying by negative. And the last one, Sierra. Let's try Sierra. What would be the last one? Negative times the negative is what? Did I get it right? Yeah, Sierra. Sierra Trevino.
Sorry, Mister. Can you review it again? I didn't see.
Oh, right here. Negative times the negative is what?
A positive.
Yeah. And then here you have a 1 times the 9 is what?
9.
Yeah. All right, very good. All right, so if you got all these right, put check. I got them all right. Very good. So now we're combining like terms. All right, so this is when we start using the T-chart. So here we go. Let's see. Enrique, I got 3y. Which one else am I going to circle? If I got a 3y, where's the other y?
5y.
5y, there you go. So 3y plus 5y? 8y, right? If you got it right, put a little check. So I'm done with the y's. See that? Let's try Nathan. How about the x's? X's. Negative 6x with what?
Negative 7x.
Right. And some kids are going to go, oh, negative and negative is a positive. Yes, but only when you multiply. But if you do the, look here, I just wrote on myself. Sorry, man. All right, so then if you do my T-chart, right, combine like terms, the T, if I put negative 6x and the negative 7x, who won? The positive? The positive has nothing. So who won? The negative. But how many do they have? How many do they have in total? 13, right? 13x because you add them. So here you have 13x. You see that? When they're together, you add them, but when they're separate, like this, you subtract them. Okay? And then the last one, let's see. Sarah Madrigal. The 7 with the what? What am I going to combine it with? The 7 with what other one?
The 9.
And what's 7 plus 9? You could use your fingers, calculator.
16.
Very good. So then you have plus 16. And there's your answer, guys. That's it. And then some kids like, that's it? Yup, that's it. Oh, that's easier. Right? So put a check if you got it right. If you put 63, say, oh, I didn't add, forgot to add, or something small. All right. If you got a mistake, oh, forgot to multiply, forgot to add. Okay. All right. So now this one's easy. Okay. So we got about 8 minutes. I think we should be done. So again, parentheses, but remember, over here it was nothing, so it was automatically a 1, right? The invisible 1. But then here they give you a 5. So then you're gonna have to multiply everything. Oh, sorry, my voice. Everything by 5. All right, there you go. So the first one, again, follow the arrows. Just follow the arrows. Bam. So the first one, let's see. Justin Calleros. What would be the first one when I'm following the small arrow and I'm multiplying?
What was the question?
The question. Oh, the question. When I multiply and I follow the first arrow using the distributive property, what would be my answer?
10x.
Very good. Good job. So remember, you're multiplying by a positive, so all the signs stay the same, remember? All the signs stay the same except the number, because now you're multiplying by 5. So remember, this is negative. So what's going to be the second one? Let's see. Jonathan Lamas. What would be the second arrow? Second arrow, Jonathan, when you multiply? Jonathan? Oh, Jonathan Lamas. Come on, guys. So remember, the delayed. I'm actually, I created a list, so I'll be putting X's whenever I. Oh, I don't got a mic. Okay, sorry, Llama. I'll erase your name now. What's my answer then? What would be my answer? Thank you for letting me know. 5 times the 4y. You could type it in. 5 times 4. Leave the y. Okay, 20. I gotta keep going. Come on, guys. And then the last one. Let's try Nicholas Reyes. The last arrow.
5.
5 plus 5. Very good. Some people would put 6. And if you put 6, oh, put a sad face and say, I added wrong, or I didn't multiply. Okay, so if you got it, put it boop, boop. All right, cool. And then this one, again, I'm going to go ahead and do this real quick. Negative 4 times this one, negative 4 up to the end of the parentheses. That's it. The 6x minus 9 stays by itself. So negative 4 times 2x, remember, because you're multiplying by negative, the signs inside the parentheses are going to change. So this positive 2x will be a negative, but then 4 times 2x is 8x. This negative is going to be a positive, but 4 times 3 is 12. You see that? So whenever you're multiplying by a negative, it's going to change the sign. Whenever you multiply by a positive, the sign will be the same. All right, that's a little trick. All right, or you could just use the MD man. Negative times negatives, cover them, and so forth. So now what am I going to combine? Okay, let's see, Justin Villa. I'm going to combine the negative 8x with what? Justin Villa? No? Man. All right, here we go. Moving on. Sarai, this negative 8x with what? Sarai? Oh, man, no.
It's 6x, Mr.
Who's that?
Daniel.
Daniel, thank you. You're like, man, I want to answer. Yeah, go ahead. You know, but all right, so negative 8x plus 6x. If you do the t-chart, it's going to be negative, and they win by 2x. Right? And then the next one is 12 minus 9, which is 3. And there's your answer. Okay? Boom. All right, there you go. There's 5. Okay, and the last one. Now, whenever you have this, there's like 8 different ways to do this problem. Yep, yeah, there's like 8, maybe 7, but I'm gonna do 2 of them. So you have x's on both sides. Basically, you want to get rid of them, right? You cannot combine 2x minus 2 because this 2 doesn't have an x. So let's say I'm gonna do plus 10x. Plus 10x on both sides. Plus 10x on both sides. Okay, so that erases this. So your answer is 12x minus 2 equals 22. Now that you have x on one side, my answer is going to be over here. But I want to get rid of the what? The minus 2. Remember, in math, when you say get rid of it, it means 0. And 0 means negative 2 plus 2. That makes it a 0. And what you do on one side, you do to the other. That makes it gone. So now I got 12x equals 24. Now, I can't get rid of it. I need to divide because they're close together. Divide by 12, and my answer is 2. Okay? So put a check if you got it right, right? If you got it wrong, say, oh, I didn't add right, or whatever it might be. Now, what about the other way, mister? You said you could do it a different way. Yeah, what's this? Remember, you want the letters on one side, and you want the variables, and then you want the constants on another side. So, mister, can I get rid of the -2 first? Yeah, what's this? Make it a 0. You're going to add 2. Add 2. Okay? That gives you 2x equals -10x plus 24. Some kids will stop. It's like, wait, I'm confused. Well, you want the x on the other side. Don't take away 2x because then this side's going to be 0. Okay? So what you want is you want to get rid of the -10x. Throw it to the other side. All right? How? You add 10x. See that? You're throwing one side, it's like a fire. You throw one, I throw one, boom, boom. So then that'll be 12x equals 24. And there's your x right here. It's going to be on the left side, so I'm going to divide because they're together. The 12 and the, get out, get out. Give me my space. So you got divided by 12. So then there's your answer is 2. Okay? Now, there's other ways to do it, and you'll get the same answer, and maybe I'll spend some time on that, you know. But there's different ways to do it. Just commit to one. All right, so that's basically it for my review. So